Your mental health is so important. Your mental health is so important. And it's such a vital part of your life. We all have experienced different things that can affect that. Whether you had a mental illness or currently have a mental illness, or you have dealt with some things that have affected you mentally, emotionally, everything. It can definitely affect your mental health and stuff like that. Because I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm gonna be transparent with you. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect at all. We all have our flaws and our insecurities. No, they don't make us any better than anybody, but they don't make us any worse than anybody. I know for me personally, I've been on a long and arduous journey. For me, because I battled a lot of things: depression, suicidal thoughts, bullying. I battled so many things. Even at my age, I battled a lot of things that nobody knew I battled. I never really talked about it. I kept it to myself. I kept my emotions to myself. And one thing that I have battled with, and I'm going ahead and share with you guys because I never thought I'd be sharing this, but I'm going to go ahead and share it anyway, is that I'm dyslexic. I've been dyslexic my entire life. Now, a lot of you know how dyslexia works. It's a learning disability in terms of reading and comprehension. Now, for me, it was definitely a struggle for me because it was hard for me to understand what I was reading, what I was looking at in terms of reading and comprehension. It was so hard for me. It got so hard to the point where I disliked reading. That's how hard it got for me. It got hard to where I couldn't remember what I read. I couldn't remember what was even said. Like, you could say that short-term memory loss was also a part of that. In regard to reading, you could also say the short-term memory loss was a part of it. And I battled that for a even to this day, it can be a struggle for me still. Even at my age, it can still be a hard battle for me to deal with because I'm not perfect. I mentioned people, I'm not perfect. Yeah, growing up, a lot of people may know school. School is my thing. I always did my best in school and stuff. As a lot of people who grew up with me knew that I did my best in school. But that didn't mean I had it easy. That nowhere did not mean that I had it anywhere easy. If anything, I struggled a lot behind closed doors. I didn't show it in class because me personally, I felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed that I was battling this situation. I felt embarrassed that I had to deal with that. I felt embarrassed because I felt like I was dumb. I felt like I couldn't do it. I felt like I couldn't go forward because of my dyslexia. I felt like I couldn't even make it. Along with the other stuff that I dealt with, that was just one big detail of mine that I've had to deal with for years, even to this day that I deal with. Fast forward to now, after everything that I've been through, God has brought me out of so much. God has brought me out of a lot of things. Even now, I'm still trucking along. I'm still pushing. I'm still pushing. Even it's this year, 2020 alone, I'm still pushing. But it took me a long time to love myself and love myself for me and who I was, despite the stuff that I've dealt with, despite my insecurities and my own flaws. I've had to learn to love myself, and it was took me a long time to do that. But at some point, I was able to develop more confidence in myself, in knowing who I was in God, and knowing who I am, and knowing my own abilities. So I had to learn to speak life into everything. I had to learn to speak positive affirmations about myself, saying that I am enough, I am smart, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, I can do this, I will do that, and so on and so forth. Each and every day, even if it's little by little, I had to learn to speak positive affirmations. My mom had to help me do that because I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always downplayed what I did. I've always downplayed everything that I've done because I felt like I just had to. But despite that affected my mental health, despite all of that, I'm still here standing to this day, because if it wasn't for God on my side, I would not be where I am. So I had to make sure that I took care of my mental health. I had to make sure I had to do a way better job of taking care of my mental health than I did back then. Whether I did a lot of prayer and meditation, listening to music, all different methods of taking care of my mental health, I had to make sure I did that because it was important for me so I can be able to move forward. It was important for me so that I can be able to say that, so that I can be able to use this as my purpose to be able to encourage other people. Now, I'm not going to say that the journey, mental health is an easy topic to discuss, because it's not. Mental health is something that shouldn't be ignored. There are people out here who have been battling mental illnesses that haven't had a chance to really speak up about it, or are too afraid to speak up about it because of what people might say. Screw those people. Screw those people who got something to say about it. And I'm being real with you. Screw those people. You want to share your story about your mental health. You want to share your story. Please do, because you don't know how much you could be helping somebody by sharing your story, by telling them how much of an impact it's had on your life compared to where you are now. You have no idea how much of an impact it could have on somebody. Your brokenness is your beauty. Your weaknesses are your strengths. Your struggles are your gifts. So you have to tell yourself, there's 4 simple words that you have to tell yourself. You are imperfectly perfect. You can even reverse it. You can say you are perfectly imperfect. Whichever you prefer, whichever statement you prefer, use those 4 simple words to let yourself know that despite my own flaws, despite your own flaws and insecurities that you've had or that you still have, you are perfectly imperfect. You are imperfectly perfect. You were created the way you were. God made you who you were for a reason. We weren't born on accident. We were born on purpose. God made you the way you are for a reason. And I want you to understand that. And I want you to strongly believe in yourself and believe in your own ability despite your flaws. I want you to understand something. And I'm speaking from experience. I want you to understand that you have so much going for you that I don't want you to let what other people say about you dictate where you're going. I don't want you to let what other people say dictate to you what your future is going to look like. Because none of us knows what the future may hold. The only person that knows what's going to happen in the future is God. He's the only one that knows what's going to happen in the future. So with me having dyslexia, with me dealing with things like depression and bullying, with everything that I've dealt with, I still choose to keep going. Because for me, I want to make an impact. I want to help somebody who's been in my shoes or who's been in a similar situation, or even if they've been in something completely different, but maybe this story can help them in understanding that it's so important to never give up. That it's so important for them to understand that you have come too far to quit. You have come too far to quit now. You've come too far to let the enemy stack the odds against you. Because the enemy will always work his hardest when you try to elevate. That's when the enemy will definitely try to work his hardest to stop you. But you have the tools necessary to push past those obstacles. You have the tools necessary to keep going, to fight past it. Yes, mental health is important. Yes, there are a lot of things that can affect your mental health, whether it's the experiences that you've had, whether it's things that you have seen, or whether it's just things that you personally battled with, like inner demons and stuff. But what I don't want you to do, and what I'm encouraging you not to do, is to not let it dictate what God has in store for you. To not let it dictate to you what you are capable of doing. Because at the end of the day, you know what you're capable of. At the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself. I can believe in you all day, but you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe that God can bring you out of it. You got to believe that you will be this. You will be that. You can do this and you can do that. Taking care of your mental health is a must. It starts with your mindset. Once you change your mindset, once you change the way you talk, the way you speak, you could change your life. But it all starts up here. It all starts up here. My question to you is, are you going to use the tools that are at your disposal to not only forget what the naysayer is going to say, to ignore what the naysayers will say, but are you going to use those tools to move forward? Are you going to use those tools to elevate? Because God can elevate you to a higher level that you didn't even know existed. He can propel you higher than you ever imagined. You just got to believe it. You just got to believe it can happen for you. You just got to believe it for yourself that it can happen for you. I'm saying this because I believe in each and every one of y'all. I believe that you can get past every little situation that you go through. You are perfectly imperfect. You are imperfectly perfect. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are smart. You are kind. You are beautiful. You are good looking. You are intelligent. Speak positive. Speak positivity into your life. Speak positive affirmations every morning before you get up. Speak positive affirmations. Practice that. Do it every single morning before you get up. Or as you get up. Speak it every single morning before you start your day. Because you never know. Those words can help you. You never know. Your story can help somebody. Your story can help somebody. Even if someone's battling right now, you never know what people are going through. But your story could help somebody. You never know who's watching your every move. You never know who's watching the way you move, the way you act, the way you talk. You never know who's watching or listening. That's why you got to be careful with what you say and what you do. You got to be careful. You got people who are praying against you. You got people who are praying against your successes. Praying that you'll fail. Praying that you'll fall. Praying that you'll falter. You can't give them that satisfaction. You cannot give them that satisfaction. It all starts up here. And I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to keep saying that, and I'm going to keep saying that because it's true. It all starts up here. You have got to understand that despite what other people may say about you, despite your current flaws and insecurities that you may have, you are more than enough. You have what it takes to live out your dreams and purpose. You have what it takes. I believe you can do it. Do you believe in yourself enough to do it? Do you believe in yourself enough to take the necessary action steps in order to move forward? You just got to believe. You got to believe. You got to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Every aspect of your life, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. But you also got to believe in yourself while doing. You got to make sure that you're taken care of. You got to believe in yourself. It's so important. It is so important. I can't stress that enough. It's so important. I told myself I wanted to be transparent with myself. I want to be transparent in who I am. That's why I told you guys earlier in this video about my dyslexia. That was something I never told anybody. I never ever told anybody until this year. I didn't tell anybody this. Because that was something I just didn't feel like I could tell anybody. Personally, I didn't feel like I could tell anybody. At one point, for a while, I just felt like I was ashamed. People see me from the outside looking in. But the things that I battle behind closed doors, you may not understand. The things that I battle behind closed doors, you probably wouldn't even thought I battled. But I don't let the things that I go through, I don't let it show. I do my best not to let it show. But sometimes my facial expressions can tell the story. But I know I've come too far to quit. And you have too. So, in terms of everything, you can't quit. You can't give up. You got to keep going. I believe in each and every one of you guys. And I believe that you can do everything that you have in your heart's desires. You just got to want it bad enough for yourself. It all starts up here. Change your mindset. Change the way you speak. Speak life over. It's life. The Bible says life and death are in the power of the tongue. So instead of speaking death, speak life into your situations. Speak positivity instead of negativity. Turn your can'ts into cans. Turn your won'ts into wills. Watch God turn your vows into blessings. Watch God turn your test into your testimony. Watch him turn your message to your message. You just got to want it for yourself. I can want it all day for you, but you got to want it for yourself. I'm not forcing you. I'm not begging you. I am encouraging you. Strongly encouraging you to never give up. No matter how difficult things get. Especially this year. Do not give up. Keep going. Keep pressing. Keep pressing your way through. Because your breakthrough is coming. It's coming. Whether you may see it or not right at the moment, right now, your breakthrough is coming. You just got to keep going. Because you have a testimony that you'll share. You have a testimony, you have a message, you have a voice that you want to share. So you got to be able to want it bad enough to take those necessary steps. And I'm being real with you. Forget what the naysayers got to say about it. They're just going to talk. All they're going to do is talk all day. They talked about Jesus. They talked about Jesus. I'm going to leave you with this. It's not about what people say. It's not about the things they say. It's about what you answer to. With that being said, you can't let what they say affect what you think about yourself. Try your best not to let it affect you. Because I've had moments where it's affected me. I have. And that's where the bullying came in. But you got to practice self-love. And it won't happen overnight, but you got to practice self-love. Love yourself enough to know your own worth. And then add tax. Heck, you might as well add shipping and handling with that too. Because not a lot of people can handle you the way you can handle yourself. Know your own worth. Love yourself. Self-love is the best love. Well, let me be real. God's love is the best love. And then I'm going to say self-love is right there next to it. Self-love, you got to love yourself first. You got to be able to love yourself enough to not let what others say about you affect you. Do you love yourself enough to do that? You are perfectly imperfect. You are imperfectly perfect. Repeat those 4 words to yourself each and every day. And I guarantee you, that's where the practice of self-love starts. That's where the practice of self-worth happens. Just repeat those same 4 words every day. Practice self-love. Take care of your mental health. Don't give up. Don't quit on your dreams. You've come too far to quit.